On the streets of Tehran, nothing looks different. The traffic still hums, markets are still crowded, shopkeepers still bargain, children still walk to school. But beneath the surface, something has shifted. There's a quiet tension in the air. As tensions between US and Iran rise once again, ordinary Iranians are living in a strange in between state of routine and fear. Because this time, war doesn't feel theoretical, it feels very much possible and real. When US President Donald Trump declared that he would never hesitate to confront threats to America, many in Iran heard more than just political rhetoric. Some heard preparation, some heard warning, and some heard the drumbeat of something very dark. In Tehran, state media insists diplomacy is still alive. The foreign minister says a deal is within reach. Deputy foreign minister echoes that hope. The president meets diplomats, projecting calm. Officially, Iran says the talk of imminent conflict is exaggerated, even propaganda. But unofficially, people are preparing. Across social media, Iranians are exchanging survival tips, writing down emergency phone numbers, identifying a meeting point if communications fail, prepare for internet blackouts, pack an emergency bag. Some families are quietly assembling supplies, water, medicine, documents, just in case. Others are planning escape routes out of major cities. And some are just frozen. Some Iranians describe the atmosphere as surreal. Not rage, not nationalism, not defiance, just exhaustion. The paradox is stark. Markets in Tehran are full. There are no visible shortages. Daily life appears to be normal. But the inflation is crushing. The currency is weak. Many families already struggle to afford basic necessities like meat, poultry, even eggs. For some, the choice is rent or food. So, while some talk about stockpiling supplies, others simply cannot afford to prepare for a disaster. War planning is a privilege not everyone has or can afford. And what about the government? Reports suggest only limited civil defense preparations. Urban planners warn metro stations and parking structures lack proper ventilation and sanitation to function as shelters. There is no clear public guidance on evacuation protocols, no visible nationwide drill. The silence itself is unsettling because if war does come, it may come fast. Meanwhile, officials they continue to dismiss reports about Iran's missile arsenal as disinformation. Protesters are warned not to cross the red lines. State messaging balances diplomacy with deterrence. Iran wants to avoid war, but it is also preparing for the possibility. And that dual posture creates a psychological strain on the population. This is the part that is rarely discussed in strategic briefings. For policymakers in Washington, this is about deterrence, leverage, red lines, negotiations. For leadership in Tehran, it is about sovereignty, pressure, survival. But for ordinary Iranians, it is about fear, uncertainty. It is about checking your phone every hour for breaking news. It is about wondering if tomorrow will look like today or not. And this anxiety is not unique to Iran. Across the region, in Israel, in Lebanon, in the Gulf, civilians live under the same cloud. War in the modern Middle East does not stay contained. It spreads through airspace, through cyberspace, through economies, through psyches. In Tehran, cafes are still open every night. Young people still gather, cars still move through the streets, but behind apartment doors, conversations are different. Parents ask quiet questions. Friends share contingency plans. Some prepare bags, while others just pray. Outwardly, the city breathes. Internally, it holds its breath. Because the most dangerous moments are not always when bombs fall. Sometimes they are when everyone is waiting, waiting to see whether diplomacy holds, waiting to see whether rhetoric escalates, waiting to see whether the next headline changes everything. Tehran looks calm, but beneath that calm is a nation bracing itself. And in that silence, one can almost hear it. Not the sound of war, but the sound of anticipation. And that may be even heavier.